Uh, where does the time fly? Where
Where
does it?
does the time fly?
Yeah, when you're having.
Mario Speedwagon says it does.
Yeah. So, welcome to me going to Otakon 2016. I have here with me Mr. Ryan Maloney.
Hi.
Say hi, Ryan Maloney.
Hi, Ryan Maloney.
So basically, I'm making this little audio log to, save something for posterity. If I forget any of these stories, I have something to remember it by. And also, I have not told any of these stories to Mr. Maloney himself. Is this correct?
This is correct. I have not heard any of this information.
Great. Well, I hope it's as entertaining as we found it, I
I mean,
guess.
you hyped it up, so I'm eager to hear some real
There should be no hype behind this at all. I mean, like I said, my life's philosophy nowadays is put as much effort and get little back. That is the true path to nirvana.
Oh man. That's well, I'm getting there too then if that's the case.
Good, good. Okay, so this convention, it's an anime convention. It was in Baltimore from August 12th to the 14th, I believe. Right? City I've never been to, and boy, did we come at a good time, Ryan. We got there during a heat wave.
Oh, like the Martha and the Vandellas song.
Sure, I'm not familiar with that song, but I'll take
Heat
your word for it.
wave.
I was going to say it was like our past Philly trip.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, where it was horrible, but at least we were in a hotel.
Right.
So, the convention started at 8 o'clock, and we had to get on the road at 7 because seven's when rush hour starts in Baltimore.
Okay.
And I thought it was going to be horrible, but it wasn't that bad. So I was like, I'll take it.
All right.
So we get to the parking garage, park our car, and we start walking towards the convention, which is like half a mile. And we get
That
to,
you had to walk?
yeah, we had to walk.
Okay.
So we get to pretty much the outside of the convention center, and we're still walking towards it. There's a truck that pulls down their window, and he's like, "Hey, you know why Otacon's gonna get canceled?" And we're like, and I was like, "Why?" And he's like, and I shit you not, he said this verbatim. It's because there's so many faggots. And then he rolls up his window, honks his horn, and keeps driving down the highway. And I was just like, whoo! This is a great start.
That's awesome. So this
And
dude literally went out of his way to drive to Otakon.
no. This is some passerby guy
Yeah.
in a truck.
Yeah.
And like he must have been triggered by seeing all these like cosplayers and Narutos and shit that
I see.
he was just mad. I don't know. He's like the Donald Trump when he comes to like anime culture or something. I don't know. I'm not gonna judge him because obviously because I went there.
Right. Yeah, you
I
did.
I don't think he knew that we were going. I don't think he would have yelled at that to someone who was going to the
Maybe he
convention.
was just trying to find a friend, you know?
It's to confide in. Yeah,
Right, yeah. To confide in as he's driving by in a motor vehicle.
yeah. So we finally get to the convention center and we have to wait in line for about an hour for registration to start.
Jesus.
And like I said, it's hot as balls.
Right.
And there's people going down, up and down the line selling like water and stuff. And you start noticing the people that are going to this place. And boy, a lot of them did not even bother to take a shower at all. They smelled so bad and the heat did not help.
Well,
Right?
no, I mean they're gonna be sweaty as it is. I mean, the heat. Ugh.
It's horrible. Yeah. So we wait about an hour and I'm texting Abel like, yo, where the heck are you? And he's like, we're still in a hotel. We're going to be there in a bit. So I'm like, whatever. So the line starts moving. We start getting into the convention center. And holy crap, I didn't know that they would blast the AC in this convention center. It was so nice. Up until a point where everybody comes in and all the heat that all these people are generating blocks out the AC. Then it becomes a hot mess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. So, we did a little walk around and just to see everything, see people, see where everything's at, panel
How big
rooms and
is the
stuff.
center?
Boy, how do I describe it? It's like different buildings, which is
Oh,
crazy.
okay.
Like a convention center is connected to like two hotels, which also had rooms for panels and stuff like that.
Gotcha, gotcha.
God, I don't even know how I would classify. It's big. It's apparently the anime convention of the East. It's that big.
Oh God.
Yeah. You would probably have a mental breakdown
Oh
if you were
no,
there.
guaranteed I'd have a mental breakdown.
Yeah. And there were even times where you were literally shoulder to shoulder with all these people trying to get to the other side of the convention center.
That
Yeah.
would drive me nuts. Oh,
You
I'd start throwing elbows.
Yeah, you would probably start throwing elbows. I don't think you would enjoy it at all. You would start like calling people out and making fun of them.
Oh yes, directly to their faces.
Exactly. So we go through registration. We get our tickets, badges, and basically we wait for Abel and Alex. And oh, by the way, James got a ticket like 2 days before the convention
Of course.
starts, so he snuck his way in pretty much. So at least I had company while I was waiting to do a bunch of the stuff. So finally, Abel and Alex get there, and they're like, "Ooh, where are you going?" And I'm like, "I'm gonna go to the Digimon panel." And he's like, "Oh, okay. Well, we're gonna go see Boat Girls." And I'm like, "I'm so glad I have James with me to do stuff." I mean,
What the hell? Boat girls?
I don't. It's an anime thing.
But it's BOAT girls?
Yeah,
Oh.
it's girls on World War II battleships.
That just
I don't.
sounds.
Yeah, don't go into it. It's you'll go down the rabbit hole and you'll never come out. Right.
Okay.
So basically, what's nice about having James around is that I have someone to go with to other things and not be stuck
Right.
with Abel.
Right.
So I'm not a big Digimon fan, but there was nothing else to do at 9 o'clock. So I'm like, what the hell? I watched 3 episodes of Digimon. I don't know. So get in there, and the panel's packed, and there's 2 people who are managing the panel, and they start going down through the history of Digimon and stuff. And then,
The
of course,
long storied history of Digimon.
yeah. And I started getting too many games vibes where, the panel's talking, but then the peanut gallery is like, oh, remember when Omnimon and Universemon fought each other? That was great.
Oh no.
Like, there's like 10 people in the back just screaming that crap. And it pissed me off so much. Even the people who were managing the panel, they're like, you guys are supposed to be mature. Like, saying that into the microphone, like,
Yeah.
you guys are adults. And it was so bad. Like, there's this black guy in a Pikachu outfit, like, directly to the left of me. He was like the biggest heckler ever. He always had like, he had to throw his 10 cents into everything.
He was wearing a Pikachu shirt.
No, like a Pikachu onesie.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Go on. That's some really disturbing mental pictures. Go on.
No, it gets worse. It gets worse. So it's at the end of the panel, and they're like, "Okay, we'll take some Q&A." So this guy runs up to the microphone, and he ruins it. How do you think
no.
he ruins it?
I'm picturing him like trying to be funny and failing. I don't know. I don't even know if I want to speculate on this.
You want me to just tell you?
Yeah, you should just tell me.
He basically goes up to the microphone, and he's like, "So you guys know that Pokemon's better, right?" And I'm just like, "Oh, God, why?" And I'm like, "Why? Why would you say something like that? Oh, you're a dick." And, a lot of people do the same shit over and over. So we leave there. We catch up to Abel and Alex, and they're like, "That was a pretty good boat girl panel." I don't think he ever said that.
Those girls were really on boats.
They were on boats, yeah.
And you know what those boats were doing, weren't you? They were in the water.
They were. So, next panel we wanted to go to was a Toonami panel. Because, once again, it's something I'm familiar with.
Okay.
Like, I had this app on my phone that told me, like, all the panels and stuff to go to. So I just picked the most familiar ones.
Sure.
So, go over to the Toonami panel. Guess what? Line's so big that they're not accepting people into the room. So I'm like, that's great. We'll just, walk around and see what's the uppity up. So we go to this cafe because neither me or James got anything to eat for breakfast. And I got apple juice and I think like a cinnamon roll. You want to guess how much that costed?
$10.
$8, but still,
Oh.
it's that expensive. It's
Oh, yeah.
horrible.
It's nuts.
Later that day, I got a bottle of water and banana, and that was like $6. It's horrible.
What cost them probably like 50 cents cost you $8.
Exactly. I'm sure they made a killing. So after that, we just walked around, looked at more stuff because there's honestly nothing to do if you don't get into a panel. So basically, yada yada yada. We dicked around for about 2 hours until it was about noon or 1 o'clock. There was this huge line, another huge line. Right? This convention's nothing but panels, walking around, and getting in lines.
Okay.
And waiting in them. So there's this big thing that Abel definitely wanted to do called the vendor room, where a bunch of there's anime figurines, body pillows, wall scrolls, manga. Pretty much a red flag if you ever see any of these things in someone's room.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That is something you run away.
That's the
very
key. Yeah,
fast.
that's the cue to get out of the room.
And there's also like companies that do animation dubs, like English dubs over Japanese anime.
Gotcha.
So this huge line we couldn't even wait for because they're like, this line's too long. You can't, make it any longer. So we're like, okay, fine. We'll go for lunch. So we go out. We go to a 7-Eleven. I've never been to a 7-Eleven. Everywhere else, there's a bunch of people buying food. Of course, all in cosplay and weird looking.
Of course. Yep.
And I get like taquitos. Abel got taquitos and James got a sandwich. And for some reason, Alex decided to get cookies. Probably not the best idea, but
Of course.
whatever. Yeah. So we come back. We finally get into the vendor room. And my God, the vendor room is like under the convention center. And it's so massive. Like, I'm thinking it might have been like 3 football fields of
Jesus.
Tables and selling stuff. Like
Oh my God.
I said, a bunch of anime paraphernalia. There's like medieval like armor and stuff, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
A lot of
I was gonna say probably lots of like amateur, like come look at my artwork.
no,
I want to
because
make it big one day.
no, because there's an art room where they do that. So
Okay. Oh, so these are just the other delusional people.
yeah. So Abel and Alex did their thing. I went with James, and it was just such a fucking mess. It was so hot, and our feet hurt at the time that it literally drained us. All right.
Yeah.
We couldn't keep walking, so we're like, "Yo, we're out. We're gonna go back into the convention center. We're gonna find some chairs and just lay down," because we were just wasted.
Yeah.
Just because there's so much shit going on. It was hot as hell. It was horrible. Like it was a horrible feeling. So that takes us back up to like 4 o'clock, and there was this other panel. It had a Japanese rapper, a Japanese singer, and a Japanese character designer for a game series I like called Persona. And the rapper's name is Lotus Juice. That's very. You should remember that because his name comes up a couple times.
Okay.
Yeah, so I really like the music from this game. So I'm like, you know what? I'll go to the panel. They have a Q&A. See what's the uppity up.
All right.
So go in. Not a lot of people. That's fine. I'm not going to argue about that.
No,
And-
judging by what we've seen before.
Yeah. So they get onto the stage, and they go up to the microphone, and this guy, the rapper's name is Lowe's Juice, and he's Japanese American. He was actually, I think he was born in Japan, raised in New Jersey. So his inspirations are like 90s rap. I could have asked him something about Will Smith, and I think he would laugh at me. So I didn't. So he goes and talks about like, hey, I did the music for this game. The singer was like, blah, 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 blah. The singer and the illustrator could not speak too much English.
Gotcha.
So they had translators. So he went through his spiel, and then he had a little Q&A session. And once again, we come back to the worst people asking questions. I could have come up with a decent question, but these people take the cake.
Oh,
so
no.
he took only 10 questions, and 3 out of the 10 people had like emotional breakdowns while they were asking their questions.
Oh, no.
They're like, oh, you guys helped me so much in my life. The games that you worked on, it's inspired me and stuff. And I'm just like, like, I swear, when someone just talks about themselves, gratification.
It's their counseling session.
Yeah. So, here was the best question that I remember listening to. So it was this Asian American guy, probably in his early 20s. He's like, "Yo, Lowe's Juice, like, you really do good music. You inspire me to do my own music. So my question is, how high of a pitch can you do?" So Lowe's just kind of looks back to like the people next to him, and he's like, "Yo, I'm a rapper, so I really don't hit high notes. It's usually low. I mean, I could do a falsetto. I can go like, ah!" And I'm just like, oh, why would you ask stupid questions like that?
Yeah.
So then after the Q&A panel, he's like, so I brought 40 of my mixtapes straight from Japan. I'll sell it to you guys for like $15 each. Who wants one? And everybody raises their hands.
Oh, geez.
And he's like, that's probably a horrible idea. Okay, how about this? We're gonna do rock, paper, scissors, all right? So I'm gonna throw out, either rock, paper, scissors, and you guys throw out. If you win against me, you can come up and buy one. So I turn to James. I'm like, okay, you do paper and I'll do rock, just to make sure we get one. So he throws out rock. Obviously, James gets it. And I look behind me, and I see everybody has paper. I'm like, you guys are liars. Get out. So, yeah, it really pissed me off to see that. So James went up there. He actually got it autographed.
Nice.
And he's like, consider this a payment for all the stuff you've bought me. So he actually gave it to me. So
Oh,
I'm
that's
like,
nice.
yes. Oh, yeah. It's about time. So we left there, and we went to a Funimation panel, which is just it's just a company that does like English dubs of anime. It's nothing really cool or important about it. Just something we went to.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about 7:00, and the next thing on the list is something called Voice Actors After Dark. It's something Abel is like, yo, you gotta see it. You gotta see it. It's like the best thing ever.
This sounds like it could be sketchy.
It turns out it's good.
Okay.
So it's 7:00, and there's already a line for it. And
All right.
this starts at like 10:00.
Jesus.
Yeah, no, it's that good. So Abel's like, yo, don't worry. Me and Alex are gonna get in there. Like, we're gonna be one of the first people in. And I'm like, how the hell are you gonna do that? There's already like a huge line for it. And he taps he taps on his badge. There's this like red strip on it, and I'm like, "What's that?" And he's like, "Oh, that's like a handicap sticker." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, it's a handicap sticker. We get in first." And I'm like, "What did you tell the people?" "Oh, I had a bum leg."
No shit.
So Alex and Abel both got these stickers, and I just turned to James. I'm like, "Well, there's no way we're gonna get in." And he's like, Abel's like, "Don't worry, we got you." So it turns out if we have like this red strip, we technically can bring one caretaker with us. So I grab Abel's bag that he's holding. He's like, "Don't worry, Abel, we'll get in there."
God, you're all going to hell.
Yes, we are.
You faked a handicap to get into an anime convention panel.
Look, all right. According to I think it was Alex, they just asked him, "Can you stand up for long periods of time without like being in pain?" He said no. That was the only question they asked. They're like, "Here you go."
Wow.
And I'm pretty sure some of the people in front of us in this special line also did the same thing. So we don't feel too bad.
Well, here's the thing. Most people, I would say, that watch anime don't stand up for long periods of time. And yes, it causes them physical harm because of the massive girth weighted on top of their legs.
Okay, to be perfectly honest, I think there were actually more skinny people than overweight people.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Well, I'm sure. Okay, fine. You know what? I'm going to degrade my own people. I'm pretty sure the fat people couldn't walk all the way over to the convention center.
That's funny. It's like a Darwin thing.
It is, yes.
We didn't make it, honey, but next year.
So we get in and we get really good seats. We're actually like in the front, the second row to the front, and we wait a little bit. Everybody comes in. They actually had to turn away people because so many people came in. So, yeah. Then all the voice actors come in, and it's also an 18+ panel, so no kids, because boy, did they use a lot of vulgar language.
Naughty words.
Oh no, it was off the chains and stuff. They did not hold back. Like,
good.
There was some sick stuff that they said. And also while they're like talking and stuff, they have a person doing sign language. So at the very end of the panel, they're like, "Okay, it's time to mess with the people that do the sign language." So they would ask them, "How would you sign?" What was the word they used? Cum explosion, or something like that, or micro penis, or something. Like these words that nobody would actually ever sign language at all.
Yeah.
So they did that, and and on the panel, I forgot to mention the people on the panel. There was people from like animes I've never heard of. There were people from like Pokemon. They had the woman that did the voice for Ash Ketchum from Pokemon.
Wow.
Yeah. So there was a certain point where they asked like, "Hey, who's come to Otakon for the first time today?" And I'm like, "Well, this is a trap. I'm not going to raise my hand." And of course, James raises his hand.
Of course.
And they're like, "Okay, first 9 people to come in front of the stage get to participate." So James runs in front, and I'm like, "Oh, James, oh, you're going to make a fool of yourself."
Yep.
So they split him up into 3 groups, right? They do the first group, James is in the second group. Second group comes along, and they go through, they're like, "What should we ask them?" And they're like, "Oh, I know." And they go through the whole Monty Python bit, where there's like, "What is your name? What is your favorite color?" So actually, all 3 people were like doing it well, even James and the 2 other weirdos and stuff. So I was
That's
amazed.
strange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they pretty much got through like, "What is your name? What is your favorite color?" And they're They're like, okay, these guys can be initiated. So one of the voice actresses from Pokemon pulls out lipstick and draws the letter V on the forehead of these guys, which is why I sent you that picture of James with the V. So
right.
that makes sense.
Okay.
So yeah, no, it was a really fun panel. God, it's a bitch to get into, but it was really fun. And I honestly think James got a lot of props from Abel from that, because Abel's like, woo, you one of us now, woo. Yeah, so it was very interesting to see.
Yeah.
And we actually ran into one of the voice actors on the way out, and we had a brief discussion with them and stuff like that. And at this point, it's like midnight, and that's day one. That is day one of the stuff that we did, right? A whole maybe 16 hours that we were at this convention.
Jesus.
Yeah. So, day two. Wake up, go to Baltimore. It's still hot as balls.
Yeah.
Get to the convention center. Abel and Alex aren't still there because I guess they were sleeping in, which is probably a good idea because, boy, we were tired.
Yeah.
We had like 6 hours of sleep because it takes a while to get back.
Mm-hmm.
So the first panel we went to after that is a Tales of panel, which is a video game series. Nothing remarkable about that.
Mm-hmm.
Right after that, we went to like one of the big halls with they were playing Persona movies, so we watched like 30 minutes of a movie.
Okay.
And then right after that, they had a indoor concert of the rapper Lotus Juice. So I'm like, hey, James, you want to go to the concert? And he's like, whatever. So we go all the way there, and the first singer that comes up is this like tiny white, I don't know what her name is. She's this tiny white woman, probably early 40s, late 30s.
Okay.
And she's wearing a shirt big enough to cover her torso and maybe halfway to her thighs. And there's like an anime girl on it, so I didn't know what to make of it.
All right.
So she starts singing a bunch of like anime intros. I was like, whatever. And boy, she was singing Japanese. Like if you were to blindfold me and I had to listen to this, I'm like, yes, that is a Japanese person. Boy, she can speak English very well for a Japanese person.
Yeah.
And then she went, actually, she actually sang like the intro to Evangelion. So if Abel was there, I think he would have probably gone nuts or something.
Yeah.
That seems like something he would do. And then my man Lotus Juice comes out, and he's like, sup, y'all ready to dance or something like that? And he starts playing stuff off of his like his little mixtape thing that we got. And he started playing music from the Persona series. And I'm like, hell yeah, I can get behind this.
Mm-hmm.
So that was about an hour. What do we do after that? After that, we went to the vendor room again because there was still nothing to do.
Mm-hmm.
I told James like, yo, like I'm done. Like the next thing I would want to see would be at like 9 o'clock at night.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like 1 p.m. Like I don't want to wait that long to do something. So
yeah.
I say we cut our losses short and whatever. So we go to the vendor room and I'm like, hey, grab whatever you want. This is the last time we're going to come here.
Mm-hmm.
And as we're doing that, I see Abel, and I'm like, hey, Abel, we out. And he's like, oh, okay, see you, bye. Yeah. So we grab our stuff, we leave, and I check my phone, and he's like, why are you guys leaving? And I'm like, there's really nothing left. And he's like, but there's premieres. So before this whole endeavor went out, Abel's like, I'm pretty much there for the premieres. So these premieres, you have to wait in line for like an hour or two.
Okay.
You finally get in there, and they show you one or two episodes of a Japanese anime dubbed in English.
Okay.
And then there's like a Q&A panel.
Huh.
I'm not going to do that. That's like a lot of time wasted for me.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, I don't watch anime. I should have prefaced this recording that I do not watch anime.
Well, that makes two of us, good sir.
Good. So yeah, whatever. So we basically went back and did not look back afterwards. But yeah, no, that was the entire trip. I will say this. A lot of, what I classify as otakus or weeaboos, people who are just like, I want anime.
Right.
I'm not going to take a shower.
Igor style people.
Yes, Igor, of course. Yeah. But there are also some people who are actually self-conscious and respectable people who want to have fun without like being disrespectful to other people. So
nice.
In a way, I like that, and I always do like seeing people who are passionate about something, even if it is anime.
Yeah.
But it is nice to have James because it had someone that I could, travel with and stuff. And he knew, some things about anime. If I ever needed to ask him a question, he would be able to answer it. Mm-hmm. He was annoying for a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I'm just trying to like listen or watch something. And he always like poked on my shoulder and he threw a meme at me. He probably threw a meme at me, right? Or did something. I don't know why he likes to try and annoy me. Right? I'm trying to like listen, and he's like, "Oh, I'm really bored. I'm going to annoy Marcelo." But
that's irritating.
It is, and it was nice to have Abel and Alex somewhere around. I'm really glad that I didn't follow them like most of the time. Mm-hmm. But for the little time I actually, hanged out with them, it was good.
Good.
But yeah, no, I had a fun time. That's all I really asked for $95 or whatever to get in. I feel like it was well worth it.
Well, Mr. Marcelo, from between this and too many games, I think it's safe to say that you are definitely a convention guy. I think you've really spread your wings, so to speak, in terms of that. I think just listening to the way you talk about them and the way you share your various adventures, I think you're really passionate about them, and that's cool. That's awesome. I'm happy for you, buddy.
Well, thank you. I feel like I like to be an adventurer.
Yeah.
And tell of my tales of ill repute.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's actually there's one thing me and James never confirmed. So there's this rumor. It's probably a true rumor. While we were at his brother's place.
Okay.
And I'm sure I've heard it other places too. That this is going to sound crazy, right? But hotels will actually reserve blocks of floors or rooms. Actually, you worked in a hotel, so you would probably know.
Yeah.
For anime conventions or many other conventions, they'll set out a block of rooms.
Yes.
And they're like, okay, if you're here for this convention, go into this block.
Yep.
Right?
Uh-huh. Yes, they do that.
So, being a person who's worked in a hotel, have you ever heard that during these like anime conventions, there's parties and possibly orgies?
No, it doesn't surprise me. But I mean, we never had anything like that at the hotel that I worked at. We just had like mostly like sporting events for those like teams coming in. So there weren't really orgies because they were all the same sex people.
Yeah.
But God, that just sounds hellish. Like I don't know what I would do working at that hotel with a bunch of like fucking weeaboos coming in, being like, "Hey, We want the king suite.
Yamate.
It would be, yeah.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, no, I had fun. And call me what you will, Ryan. I wouldn't mind going back.
Oh.
You definitely need friends because if you go lone wolf, you are one of those crazy people.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you will go psycho. But it's definitely fun to have friends and to
It's definitely fun to have friends.
yeah, to create memories with them
I
and
see.
stuff. So yeah, I had fun. Maybe it's because it's conventions or whatever, but I had fun. Like the stories you come up with, well, not come up with, stories that you see.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you for listening.
Thank you for telling.
Yeah, how was that? Did I droll on too long about
No,
things?
no, no, no. You drolled on just long enough.
Just long enough? Just yeah. Okay, then that's it.